Well done.
Hello, folks.
Hello.
Here we are again.
Here we are again. We made it. We're back
The Ivan Files.
for another episode of The Ivan Files.
In a reshaped environment here.
Yeah.
It's very
So,
pretty.
Thank you. We're
Very
starting
nice,
to look
yeah.
like an office. This is
Coming along.
Shelby Stokes' area.
Well, I mean, this is in our area. This is a team building space.
This is
where
a team building
team
space.
is going to be built.
Yeah.
All about five.
Right.
We're going to have cartoons and
I hope
things
so.
like that. Yeah.
I mean,
We're gonna have a TV, even though it's $10 a box.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, we could just draw our
$10 a
own
box.
cartoons if we need to.
No.
No.
Did I loan you the Alan Dershowitz tapes?
No.
No. Uh-uh.
They up and disappeared.
Did they? Alan Dershowitz tapes? No.
Yeah,
But I remember you
he
talking
doesn't-
about
Do you
them,
have a
though.
tape recorder?
That was my main concern. Is like I don't even know how I would go about playing a tape cassette at this time. I mean, I know how to use one. I just don't think I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not many people do.
Yeah. Well, today we had something we were going to talk about, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yes, Polly wanted to talk about the Constitution, but Polly's not here.
Right.
Constitution.
And Constitution will be there next week as well.
Maybe.
So we can do
It
that.
all depends.
Hopefully, it doesn't go down in flames.
Yeah.
Very well could.
Yeah.
The way
Everybody
it's going.
kind of vote, and then we'll have a Constitution.
Yeah.
Well, what I want to talk about today or throw out there is some of the differences in describing and realizing what is close and what's far.
Oh, that's Grover.
Oh.
Grover does that.
Silver
Grover.
does that.
Yeah, Grover. He's a
Grover?
Muppet on
Grover?
Sesame
Yeah,
Street.
hey.
Near five. Near five.
The close,
Okay.
the
True.
closer one is the idea. Like, look at shows right up on the astrology book, and see what
Nice.
it says there.
What's that?
Cosmic catastrophe.
Cosmic catastrophes
Done.
this week
Yeah,
Done.
in Astronomy Magazine.
that's right. And
3 million years from now, so everybody get water.
well, that's the other thing. Is there's two ways of looking at the history of the Earth.
Mhm.
One is in catastrophes.
Okay.
That's like a guy by the name of Immanuel Velikovsky
Okay.
wrote a book. He wrote 2 books. He probably wrote more than that.
I'd
But
imagine.
anyway, that's what I know.
Manuel
It's
is
called
very good.
Worlds in Collision.
Worlds in Collision.
And he also wrote another one called Worlds in Chaos.
Ah. Huh.
And what that's about is he's a psychiatrist. So he wasn't educated as a archaeologist or
Astronomer or anything like that.
yeah,
Interesting.
and formal education. Now you know a lot of people like me, you guys, you can discover stuff and you don't have to have a certificate from a university that says you went there.
Right.
And somebody did something to you. So anyway, the idea
Did something
is
to you. They apparently do things to you
Welcome
at
to
those
school.
places. Welcome to school. We're going to do things
We'll put
to
you
you.
to school.
yeah, it's like it's like a place you have to go and be recognized and get marked, and so
Do
eventually.
you think if you just stroked them a check for $120,000, they'd give you the certificate anyway? Just bypass the whole education piece, because all they really want your money anyway. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, no.
I mean, higher education's having a little bit
There's
of
a
a moment
bunch
right now, isn't it?
They
Yeah,
are
they're
having a
Having
little bit of a moment.
There's a bunch of people that appreciate what they do, and they intend to transfer some learning to people who don't necessarily want it, but would accept it in our long run. Anyway, there's a difference in thinking about it. One of them is uniformitarianism.
I just saw that word. It's a very interesting word.
The uniformitarianism idea is that things move very slowly.
Okay.
For instance, when they talk about evolution, there's books, that describe how bones change and things change in an animal from what they perceive as the beginning of this animal, way back when, to what the animal looks like now. Elephants, for instance, mastodons, mammoths, and the really, really far back are things like trilobites that are fossil animals that archaeologists find. They dig it up, and they blow it off. And it's, oh, there's a new fossil. We've discovered a new fossil.
It's happened.
That's uniformitarianism, that would take place, as is suggested in a lot of books, over millions of years. Even the human being is thought to have originated a long time ago. But, you have to believe what you believe. The other side of that is catastrophism. Can you say that? Catastrophism?
Catastrophism.
You said it pretty well. Catastrophism.
Catastrophism.
I have to say it slow enough to where, you would be like, what's wrong with him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
That's
it be
where the
catastrophism?
idea is that, and what Dr. Velikovsky wrote about was he looked at the scriptures, and instead of discounting most of them as probably fantasy or whatever, thought that maybe Venus passed close to the Earth at one time.
No.
And all kinds of changes occurred.
Huh.
And that synced with Israelis, and before they were Israelis, they were out there in the desert. And that was... So what do you think about that?
That's really interesting. I've never heard of such a thing, to be honest with you.
You haven't?
No. So, I mean, how many years are you going back with?
Your education has been not...
Oh, trust me,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Well, he did a
Public
lot
school
of
system.
that during his college days. It's like
I was a really good
drinking
drinker.
101.
I was a really good drinker. Yeah. Turns out the learning, kind of a secondary activity.
You're very smart, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have my moments. But yeah, so in terms of catastrophe, is there what's the science behind it? It seems like that's kind of far-fetched, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's true.
It is.
Well, it might be.
Might be. You had me fooled for a second.
Wow.
For what they'll teach you if you go to I went to a school once, and I took a course in comparative anatomy. Comparative anatomy. And what that is
anatomy.
Comparing early bones
Oh.
to later bones on down the way.
And how they changed.
Yeah, like from a little horse to a big horse. From little humans to big humans, And that was supposed to take thousands and millions of years for some of that to occur. And dinosaurs even.
Gotcha.
We still have them, of course, dinosaurs. You know where they are?
Underground?
There might be a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean like alligators and there's...
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
alligators
that,
and
like
in the
that.
sea.
Yeah.
In the deep sea, correct?
Yeah.
Birds
And birds.
Birds in the sea.
Birds, yeah. They're,
Seabirds.
Seabirds.
Yeah, especially the ones that walk on 2 feet and have small arms like this, like Tyrannosaurus Rex, and
Are there birds with arms?
well, it, some claim now that in looking at evolution strictly,
Mhm.
and that's all they have to go on is a notion, and then to put some bones into that notion where they thought stuff might occur, and I wish I knew what the hell I was talking about.
Well, some of the arms on the framework of the birds, those are like Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? Like
Right.
back in the day. You don't see a lot of birds with arms nowadays.
No.
Yeah.
Turns out birds with arms, they don't really go around all that often.
And we know a lot of people actually that are in that line of evolution that have T-Rex arms when the bill for dinner comes. You know, they're, let me get my wallet.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait. Oh, you got it? Okay,
Sorry.
thank
Oh,
you.
twist my arm. Here
Twist
you
my arm.
go.
Oh, can't reach my wallet.
Oh.
Anyway, it's an interesting kind of thing when you, like, here we go. Now, these things, what they talk about in here are many, many, many light years away,
Mhm.
maybe.
Gotcha.
But according to astrologers, not astrologers, astronomers,
Mhm.
astrologers came before astronomers, you know. But
It's because
anyway,
L comes before M.
Yeah.
I don't think
they're,
that's why. But
You
okay.
don't? Oh,
I
okay.
believe that.
I thought you
Kings
knew.
That's
and
accurate.
queens,
Yeah.
they, you know, they do that. And also the newspaper has your astrology thing
Mm-hmm.
in it every day.
Yep.
So to say that people don't believe in that at all is not correct. But anyway, catastrophism, where, say, like for instance, we would have, well, take the flood.
Okay.
I kind of think, probably erroneously, but it may be that there was that Mars. The reason Mars is so desolate is that they passed real close to the Earth at a time, and the Earth's gravity is much greater than that of Mars, and so it sucked all the water off of Mars and put it in the oceans, and that's where we got
interesting.
our water. That's good a theory as any.
Yeah. Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
Go right by and grab the.
Do you
the
really think
resources.
that? Do you really? Is that just a thought, or is that something that you wonder if really did happen? Is that one of your
Well-
crazy thoughts?
It could be a crazy thought, but Manuel Velikovsky didn't think it was so crazy. He wrote it all down in a book, 2 books. And it makes the timeline on humans much shorter. And when's the last time you saw an ape that could talk and play piano and stuff like that?
I don't know many people that can play the piano.
Yeah.
This ape can.
Is that right?
This ape, yeah.
This ape.
Yeah. But you see, there's we'd lost our hair, and well, most of us did. There's a few people that are very hairy,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, they're not hairy to the extent that it's a covering for protection against the environment. It's not that much hair. Now, somebody out there might say, "You're crazy." No, I'm not crazy. If you disagree, send me an email. It's,
I'm not crazy.
Ivan 1933 at Gmail.
Yeah.
Please send him an email.
Send
Someone,
an email.
anyone, send
Yeah.
him an email.
We like to think about that. But anyway, this stuff keeps popping up from time to time. In our universe, you know, when you think about that these people with the telescopes looking, at several hundred light years away.
Yeah.
And, you know, light years a long time. It's a long distance. And
Do you think that there's a reason that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in the last couple of years, there's all this information coming out? Short of, is it information that we've already had and that it's just being not confirmed but released? Or, I mean, and it feels like it's just too.
I think released gives us too much credit as a society.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like, I feel like this is people coming up with new ways of new perspectives on the different evidence in front of them, and that's where a lot of these conversations are coming from. To me, you talk about the Earth passing so close to Mars that it takes all the water off of Mars. To me, that seems like it'd be so hard to prove one way or the other, darn near impossible. But the first thing that comes to me is like, okay, we're in this elliptical orbit around the sun, and very rarely do those two paths cross between Mars and Earth. So could it be possible? Yeah, but I think that like we're not going to know either way.
Right.
It's kind of what I always come to at the
But
end
what
of the
if
day.
it came in the form of massive rainstorms for a number of years or something, and because
the waters cycle on the Earth, right? Rain comes down, it's evaporated up, sucked into the clouds, then comes back again. So that hydrogen molecule has to come from somewhere initially, right? The molecule doesn't necessarily go away; it just transforms into a new form. But all that said, like all this new stuff coming out, I think it's people just taking a new perspective on things. We also are in an age right now where information flows so much quicker than it's ever flown in the past, that you can literally see, NASA doing some sort of test, and a lot of those facts can be looked up and studied right at your house.
No, you're
You're
right.
not going to be able to get all the data, but you're going to get enough of the data to understand what you need to. So I think that's part of it. Have you seen any of these people that are looking at like satellite images and basically looking just down in the forest and seeing how everything's grown, and they're like, okay, this is probably where one of these ancient civilizations are.
No.
And they're able to dig it up.
Is that right?
I mean, that's just some random person on their computer looking at satellite imagery.
Through Google Earth.
Yeah, but like that's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
20 years ago, 40 years ago, you wouldn't be able to sit at home and do that. That wouldn't be physically
Well, how old is
possible.
Google Earth?
Oh,
How
probably
old,
20
right?
years.
20 years.
Probably
So
20 years.
How old is that?
Google Earth. Google Earth is this thing where it goes
yeah.
to the satellite and you can look at different layouts.
So Google's probably, early aughts? Early 2000s? Late
Yeah.
90s, maybe?
I was late.
You're going to have to Google how
How
old
old
Google
is
is.
Google?
Right after Steve Jobs and all his stuff, was he around?
Yeah.
We shouldn't talk about people, should we?
Steve was around.
Yeah, he was around.
Google is only 25 years old, 1998.
25
Yeah,
years
late
old.
90s.
Yeah.
Huh.
Then they
Interesting.
own almost everything. So anyway,
Its original name was Backrub.
yeah,
What?
Yep.
There is some trivia. I never knew.
yeah, Google,
Yep. It was called Backrub. I prefer Backrub on
back rub, yeah.
Back rub it. Just doesn't
Yeah.
have the same.
Backrub it. Oh, please.
Yeah, I back rubbed that. I was back rubbing last night.
I back rubbed that last night. I was thinking about front rubbing it, but that's a totally different subject.
That's Yahoo. That's the Yahoo of search
That's Yahoo.
engines.
That's the front rub.
Yeah.
Did we lose your dad?
No, it's,
You're just thinking about the rub, aren't you?
yeah, when you think about science and you say, well, it has to fit into science, or science has to discover what it really is, you're locking it into a bunch of information, a bunch of data, and which may or may not be true, like the mystery of human beings. How come human beings are human beings, for heaven's sake? We don't look like any animal, although there are some that look like some animals.
Mhm.
I'll grant you that. But, and from different parts of the earth. So, it's kind of difficult to understand. But if you tackle it from a purely scientific way or data, then you have to go with, oh, that's crazy, man. How would you think of that? Well, on the other hand, I've talked about two different paths of knowledge, and this may be one of them, and science may be the other, but we need to pay attention to both. And if we say it's not scientific, yeah, well, it was supposed to be scientific. But you say, well, okay, so maybe it's in a skillet.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, fly around in a skillet. You know?
Hmm.
It's like flatus in a skillet. Is that the way it goes?
Flatus. Flatus.
Flophouse.
Flatus.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
You heard it right here from the skillet rider.
Skillet.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. This is an interesting magazine. You read this on the plane when you were traveling?
Do
Do I get
does that
astronomy?
kind of stuff that you dig that kind of stuff, don't you?
Astronomy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do dig it. I do appreciate it.
There's some great articles that aren't about that in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's
right.
It kind of puts me to sleep a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot to like take in. So I kind of have dabbled in astronomy in the past, and you get to a point where you feel so insignificant because
Yeah.
you realize how massive the world and like
Well,
planetary change is.
to the center page, and you'll see.
Is that right?
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you realize how insignificant you are. Like the little blue dot type analogy that Carl Sagan used to make. So like that was part of the reason I stayed away from it, and then the other part of it is just it's so numbers based that it's hard for me to conceivably like regurgitate it. You
And
know
that
what
might
I
be
mean?
because of your dyslexia too.
That's probably part of it.
Yeah.
But I do find it very intriguing. I try to watch. Whenever I'm dozing off, it's normally either alien based or space based.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Cause,
Oh, really?
yeah, because it's just so massive, and it doesn't feel like you'll ever get the answer on the alien docs.
Yeah.
But I really
Can't
do
even
like
talk
the
to my
universe.
daughters about aliens.
I mean,
Can't even
Yeah.
talk to them about them. I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, be prepared. They're coming." And they're both like, "No, stop talking or talk up."
my wife's the same way.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Why? Why are you so afraid of it, man?"
I think I tried to explain to my wife what a light year was, and she goes, "That's not real." I go, "No, no, it is.
That's
It
not
is."
real. You're joking. Shelby.
Lightyear.
Well, it's hard to explain to a kid that when they see a star, they're actually not seeing that star.
Right.
I'm not seeing where it is right now.
Right.
While you're
And what
watching
they're
it,
seeing
yeah,
is,
where it was.
Like
Where it
from
was.
a long
Yeah.
time ago.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't understand why it's so hard to believe in time travel.
Oh boy, that's a whole nother conversation, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, time travel is
Doable. Is it not doable?
I mean, why would you want it to be?
I don't know, but because the movie said
Because the movie said it is.
Dune.
I don't know.
Dune?
Yeah, time travel just freaks me out. Like, I don't.
I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go forward. I would go back just to.
Oh, I definitely would not go back.
I would go back and maybe whisper in my ear, "Hey, that is probably not going to work out." for you."
I would go forward. I wouldn't go back.
You would go forward?
I do. Yeah.
Why?
for
Why
sure.
do you want to know when your end game is?
Because it's.
Maybe
Why not?
there.
Yeah. We're on the precipice of never aging, so I mean, maybe we'll all just be alive and well.
Well, there's
Uploading consciousnesses
Yeah.
and things like that.
there may be, that's another subject we need to.
Moonfall.
Moonfall.
Tried to get him to watch it. Moonfall
Yeah.
talks about all that. You've got to watch. Moonfall you got to watch it. Moonfall.
Sounds like a trip.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Sounds like a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moonfall.
Well, good stuff. Well, you've officially blown my mind, Ivan.
There's
Finger.
I was going to say something, man. Do you know what I was going to say?
I don't think he does.
You were going to say Astronomy Magazine is a great one.
It is. It is.
Check out the world's best-selling astronomy magazine.
That's Mark's.
This month they've covered cosmic catastrophes,
Yeah,
which
right,
is the
see?
difference between uniformism and catas.
Uniformitarianism.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez, I missed a whole
Uniformitarianism.
syllable in there.
Yeah.
Syllable and catastrophism.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was it. Catastrophism.
Catastrophism.
That feels right.
Uniformitarianism. Uniformitarianism. No.
Now, if you were watching a movie recently that had, say, Bruce Willis in it,
Armageddon. That's what he's talking about.
Armageddon, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like for us, somebody did discover a huge
Asteroid.
Asteroid.
asteroid headed our way.
Yeah, that happened this week, didn't it?
Mhm.
Oh,
I
it
think
went
so.
by us though.
Oh, did
It
it?
went by us because it got blown up a little bit or something like that.
I don't know. I think it just went by.
Wait, are we talking about the movie or are we talking about in real life?
No, we're talking about in real life.
One went by us recently?
Yeah.
I think so.
We didn't even know it was coming.
It'll be
so all
back
of a
in
sudden it was gone.
2025, I believe, correct?
Yeah, could be like that.
And then the Mayan calendars will be accurate.
And then everything will be
2025, our last
fine.
year.
Yeah, then
It's been a good run.
It's been a good run. By then, the office
good
will be
run.
done, and so we can all just.
So it's
We'd all sit here watch this world come down on top of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll try to knock it off.
Yeah.
All right.
Or there's another factor
Yeah.
to all of this. You know, why does the moon sound hollow?
Oh, well, you just need to watch Moonfall. It's because the moon is actually an AI-generated capsule that is. You just gotta
Is
watch
this
it.
for real?
You gotta watch Moonfall. The
You're not
moon,
making this up.
No, the moon is a vessel in this
Jeez.
movie, and inside the moon is an AI
Super intelligence.
super intelligent thing. And in this movie Moonfall, you just have to watch the
the
movie
Truman
Moonfall.
Show.
It's very
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Moonfall.
It's
Writing
very
it down.
great.
Yeah.
It's very great.
Yeah.
A super god.
Yeah, we're not hired to hawk movies or books or things. That's just information that we have.
Dad's afraid we're gonna get sued for saying Moonfall, and we're not. So watch Moonfall.
We get sued for using music that we thought we could
We get
use.
sued for stupid
Yeah.
things. We don't get sued for
Yeah.
other things. We get sued for using music on Instagram, and then it goes on Facebook. So
Yeah.
whatever. Get
Right.
your
Which are
crap
owned by
straight.
the same company, right?
Yeah.
Go figure.
So anyway, the other factor that we kind of touch on sometimes is aliens coming.
They are coming. They're here.
They're here, but then for us to know that they're here is different. Except that if you watch Ancient Aliens, there's another program. There's been some evidence they seem to have about aliens being present. Well, you know, there's things, some history like rockets being shut off so they won't work
Oh, jeez.
when things get hot or for some reason. And anyway, then that's all over the place, and so it could be that the third theme is going to be an alien theme.
You heard it here on the Ivan Files. The aliens are here. They are coming. They are going to show themselves
Oh,
to
boy.
us soon.
Oh boy.
Prepare.
Yeah.
Get bottled water, because also Mars might be dumping a bunch more water on us.
Yeah.
April showers brings Mars flowers.
Brings Mars flowers.
Mars flowers.
There's quite
Mars
a bit
flowers
of
are
water
coming.
underground, they figure,
Yeah,
in Mars.
there you
Yeah.
go.
So, as well as the stuff that,
Well, let's talk about aliens
Lots to
next
think
week.
about.
want to talk about aliens?
Let's talk about aliens next week.
Uh-oh. Alien files.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay,
All right.
Does that sound good?
Deal.
yeah.
All right, next week we're here to talk about aliens. And
Send
go
me-
ahead, send an email to the Ivan 1933, or the Ivan, is it the Ivan, it's the Ivan 1933 at gmail.com, and give us your opinion on whether or not you believe aliens are actually already here.
Yeah, or anything else we're talking about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or just say hi to the Ivan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Be
Okay.
glad to have it.
Yeah. Till next week, gang.
Yeah.
Tip that hat.
It's been tipped.
So
It's official.
long.
The hat is a tip.
Shalom.